Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to Live Stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a great weekend and a good start to the week as well. And thank you everyone for joining in with the live chat room. Before we even got started here, you guys were here really early because I started setting it up at about 10 past 11 and there were already some people in the house. So thank you guys so much for joining in so early, and let's get you guys up on screen so we can see who is in the house tonight. So Neil is in there moderating with Laurie and Carla as well. A massive hello and thank you to the moderators for tonight and always doing such a great job. We have Susan and Dennis and Jeff and Lynn and Alexi and Robin, Orlando, Linda, Angela, Tara, Cheryl, Barbara, hello guys, Kevin as well, Dan R and Gary, thank you guys, so Thomas as well. It's so difficult to read them out at the beginning, but I do my best, and Laura's in there as well somewhere. So hello guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Tuesday night, and a massive belated birthday wish to Laurie, one of our moderators whose birthday it was yesterday. And I did say happy birthday on Saturday, I do believe, and then I blamed Laurie for my mistake as well for that live stream that I had at the end. There was a mistake, but happy birthday Laurie, hope you had a great day. And we're also going to be getting the names of my patrons up on screen because that's what we do on these live streams, because they wouldn't be possible without the support of my patrons. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are, and their names always go across at the bottom of the screen during these live streams. So we did have a little bit of action in the super chat window before the stream even started, so we're going to get that up on screen. Hopefully everything's going to work, and fingers crossed that you can see it all going on the screen in front of you and that you can hear me and all of that good stuff. So we have had a donation from Deborah, who's donated $4.99. Thank you so much for that, Deborah. The message is, hi Phil, hope to get in here early. Love your collab with Kent Johnson. How did you meet him and how did this collaboration come about? So I met Kent quite a while ago. It's maybe 3 or 4 years now. We were selected as the testing people, or at least some kind of testing people. I'm trying to think of the word that you call people who test things early before a product is released. Anyway, that was Kent and I and lots of other people who were testing out Peter Holland's course. He's a creator on YouTube and he does a cappella type songs where he just uses his voice, and he was starting a course and designing it, and we were part of that test subject group. That's probably what I was looking for earlier. But the test subjects just went through the course and clicked on all the information, made sure that all of the links worked, and gave Peter feedback about the course. And he asked me and lots of other members what we thought and what he could improve and all that kind of stuff. And because I had been following Peter for quite a while, and I'm always looking out for advice on YouTube about videos, and especially to do with musicians and music on YouTube, that's how Kent and I met up. So we just got together because we were commenting on the Peter Holland's page for the course, and we just decided to do it. So that's how we met, and we just recorded our parts and sent them to each other, and then recorded videos independently as well, and then edited those together. So that's how Kent and I got together, and it was all through Peter Holland's course. But thank you for that, Deborah. And Carla has donated $4.99. Thank you for that, Carla. And it's a straight up donation. And Deborah has donated $1.99 with a straight up donation as well. That was almost a very early error with my talking, and I'm trying to concentrate on not putting letters from later words in earlier words. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Deborah. And Orlando has donated $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, the words you are looking for are guinea pigs. Not sure that's exactly what I was looking for. Probably test subjects. but I know what you mean by guinea pigs. But thank you for that, Orlando. And Anne is in the house as well and has donated $10. And the message is thank you with the guy doing a praying motion. So thank you for that, Anne, and thank you for all of the donations so early on. Also, while I remember to try and hopefully get the likes up on screen, because we've had 88, 89 as it just ticks over. Thank you guys for hitting that like button so many times, even though you could only hit it once. But I mean, thank you just for clicking that like button on the last live stream on Saturday night, because we reached a crazy number. Tonight, I'm going to throw it out there to see if we can get up to 250 likes for this live stream. The last live stream, we set a target of 230, and thank you, Carla, for setting that target, because we smashed it, as they say, and we'll see if we can get up to 250 tonight. Maybe we can, fingers crossed, but if you could hit that thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated. And also thank you everybody for hitting that subscribe button as well, because we have a crazy number of subscribers now on the channel, over 141,000. So thank you everyone for doing that and showing your support of the channel, but it also helps the videos to get out there a little bit more, and the likes really do help these live streams to get out there as well. So we are going to be jumping into the first video of the night, but just before we do, we've had another donation, and this has come in from Jen, and it's for $2, so thank you for that, Jen. And the message is, do you wear spectacles beside sunglasses with an inquisitive face? And no, I don't. I think with my eyes, I was very lucky. My mum didn't wear glasses until she was older, and I won't say what age, but she pretty much went through the majority of her life so far not needing glasses. So I got her eyes. I think my dad wears glasses, my sister wears glasses, so I've never needed, touch wood, to wear glasses so far, and hopefully I won't need to for a while into the future as well. But it's just something that I was lucky with. But I was unlucky with skin, because my mum had a little bit of bad skin, but then I got the really bad skin version of that. And yeah, that's something that I've been dealing with since the age of 12. But we will move on. Luckily with the eyes, I was, well, lucky to get that, but also probably lucky to get my dad's sportiness and just being fast at running, because that's something that certainly gave me an advantage at school, and probably if I do play sports nowadays, it still gives me advantage. Being able to run faster than somebody else is something that they can't do anything about. It's just a genetic thing that if you can get to a ball quicker than they can, then you're always going to be able to do that, and there's no amount of training. If we both train, then there's no amount of training that can make them faster. But if they train more than me because I'm lazy, then maybe they could get faster than me. I don't know, but I was lucky on that side of things as well. But thank you, Jen, for that. And Deborah has donated again, $4.99. And the message is, the word is beta test or beta test, depending on where you're from. But that is probably a better version of what I was trying to think of. So thank you for that, Deborah. It sounds a lot more official like that. And Gary has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Gary. And it is a straight up donation without a message. And we have another one, and this is from Piano Dean, who has donated $5. Thank you so much for that, Dean. And the message is, any exercises I could do that would help me eventually be able to play the fast part of Phil Collins' solo in Def Leppard's Stage Fright. And the two things you have to concentrate on is being accurate, first of all, and always playing the line, or it doesn't really matter what you're playing, whether it's a scale, a particular line from a song. You want to make sure that you're always playing it correctly, and you never start playing it incorrectly a lot because your muscle memory stores everything. So it means that if you keep making mistakes, your muscle memory will start loading up the mistakes as much as it loads up the correct way of doing it. So if you always teach your muscle memory to do something correctly, it will only ever load up the correct version of what you're trying to do. And then once you've got that, this is why you have to practice everything really slowly to begin with, so that you can guarantee every time you're playing it correctly, note for note. And then obviously it helps with synchronization, but as you then speed up, your muscle memory will only load up the correct version, and that's exactly what you want. People that try to play too fast too quickly start making mistakes, and because they keep making those mistakes, the muscle memory doesn't really know what you want it to store, and it just stores everything. I mean, that's the great thing about being so versatile at playing. If you play lots of different lines, lots of different styles, lots of different scales, your muscle memory will keep storing everything. So if you play everything correctly, then that's great because it will keep loading that up. If you start to play everything a little bit correctly and a little bit incorrectly, sometimes it will just load up the incorrect versions. So you just want to make sure you keep it slow and gradually speed it up, and you will find that there'll be a cliff edge where you can speed it up and speed it up and speed it up, but then you fall off the cliff and you start making mistakes. So then you just wind it back a bit, keep just tweaking that speed, and if you can do it to a metronome, that's even better. But if you've got a good internal metronome, then you should be able to just speed it up and speed it up to the point where you know that you're now falling off the cliff because you're playing it incorrectly, and just rewind a little bit, go back from that cliff and just rehearse it a little bit more slowly, and just keep on pushing that boundary of speed. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Dean. And Kathleen's in the house and has donated $10. Thank you for that, Kathleen. It's a straight up donation. And Angela has donated $4.99 as well. So thank you for that, Angela. And the message is, you got the personality and diligence. So thank you for that, Angela. And yes, that is definitely the diligence. Persistence is from my mum's side, I think. Her work ethic as well. So it's something that my dad, probably watching this, will say, what about my work ethic? I can hear him saying that now. But I think my mum's work ethic is what I have. And I think my sister developed that later on in life, but she's certainly been able to apply herself more now than she used to when she was at school. But with my dad, he's got the creative side where he just does lots of creative stuff and goes in lots of different directions. And I think I'm lucky in that I've had the creative and the persistent, diligence, workaholic almost side of things, and I've stuck those things together. Probably is why my album's called Persistence, because I never give up with anything. But that is my advice to everybody. If you've got a passion for something, just don't give up with it. Just work at it as much as you can, because the more you work at it, the more you practice, the better you'll get at it, and then you'll start to be a lot better than other people who are naturally gifted at that thing but are lazy. You can just work hard at it and overtake them. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Angela. Carl's in the house as well, and we all know what this is for. It's a $5 donation, first of all, for the Cross the Pond Fund and Philfest. Come to the Jersey Shore, the Stone Pony, or any of the venues around here. Philfest, stay healthy and stay safe, everyone, or safe, everyone. So thank you for that, Carl, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to get over there. I think for the near future, imminent future, it's unfortunately going to be ruled by coronavirus, and just trying to get a handle on that. I know that over in the USA, certainly from reports here, it is unfortunately on the increase in some states, but hopefully everybody over there is staying isolated and you can start to get a bit of a control of it. Having said that, here there's a town called Leicester and we've had a spike there, so that's back on lockdown. So it still is a crazy dangerous disease, virus, and I think that people have forgotten, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, they've forgotten about this deadly virus that's out there that spreads where people get too close to each other. And especially with people going out on protests and rallies and things and they're not wearing masks, it's just something that I think, unfortunately, the virus loves that kind of situation. And it needs that to spread around. So it's just a shame that these things have collided at the same time, but hopefully we can get a bit of a handle on it in the UK, but also in the USA as well, and all around the world. But thank you so much for that donation, Carl. And Marge has come in with a $5 donation as well. Marge, thank you for that. And thank you for joining in over on Patreon as well. Marge's name will be at the bottom of the screen here somewhere going across. So thank you for that, Marge. And the message is it any different teaching left-handed guitar? My 2 grandsons are both left-handed, and it's not different really teaching it. It's probably different for them looking at me and trying to, or not me personally, but the teacher, and trying to reverse in their head what they're seeing. And sometimes it can be easier because it's just a mirror image of what they're playing. So if they just imagine that they're looking in a mirror, then it might be easier to understand. But certainly from a teaching perspective, it isn't that different. The only thing is that I have teaching sheets that are then converted to left-handed versions of, for example, chord sheets. They'll be reversed so that I flip it over so that they at least can then practice and refer to something that is correct, rather than looking at something and then having to try and work it out the other way in their heads. But thank you so much for that, Marge. And King Nero's in the house and has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, would love to see you analyse some old school Bee Gees sometime, Phil. So thank you for that. And the Bee Gees are here on the channel somewhere, and I think it was probably more the disco side or their disco phase, so not really early stuff, but that's certainly something that I can get into in the future. But thank you for that donation. And Susan and Dennis are in the house as well and have donated $5. So thank you for that, guys. The message is, Dennis wants to know what you think is the best guitar ever made. Also, thank you for sending us your CD. It arrived yesterday, and I did grab this picture from the Facebook page, the Wings of Pegasus supporters page over on Facebook, whose name will change on the 4th of July, so Independence Day. That is when the whole page gets its new independence. And thank you, Susan and Dennis and everyone there, for uploading your pictures. We will be looking at that later on. In fact, I might be able to find it, but then again, I probably won't because I haven't got it on the screen. I'll have to organize it while the video's playing. So we'll look at Susan and Dennis's picture of their CD that arrived, and then my very unneat writing on it, because I write a message on it and then sign it. So thank you for that, guys. And also, the best guitar ever made, I'm not really sure that I can pinpoint it to one, because when I started playing when I was 12 and 13, I got my first proper guitar when I was about maybe 14 or 15 years of age. But I say proper guitar, that was just a Tanglewood Nevada, and that was my first guitar. And then I got my Fender Strat, I think, when I was 19, because then I was gigging at that point. And of course, when I got my Fender Strat, I thought that was the best guitar ever, because that's what Jimi Hendrix played, and I just loved the pictures of Jimi Hendrix, and then having that guitar was really cool. But then moving forward, I then got into Ibanez guitars a bit for the whole 80s thing and the Floyd Rose Bridge. And yeah, so then I thought Ibanez were really good. So it probably is one of those things that I don't have a favorite, but I have favorites for whatever I'm playing. And then I've got a telly as well, so it's just chopping and changing between those guitars. So yes, I can't really pick one, but if I had to pick one for the one that will stick in my mind the most, it's always going to be the Fender Strat, because that was my proper first guitar, because the Tanglewood Nevada was just one of those to get me playing an electric guitar, because I was just learning how to play the chords and all that kind of stuff and hadn't really got into the lead work yet. But thank you guys for that donation. And Randy has just jumped in with a $5 donation, so thank you so much for that, Randy. And there's no message with that. And we've just had another message come in from $1.99, and the message is, well, first of all, it's Subversively Surreal who has donated this, and the message is, it's just a little tick. So thank you for that, and I can't see any little ticks anywhere, but we will see if something appears. But thank you for that, guys. everything in the super chat window already, just crazy donations. Thank you, it is massively appreciated, and thank you for hitting that thumbs up as well. Let's have a spike of the likes, and we're going for a bit of a summer fruits theme, and it's the same color, it's a purple color, so we are color coordinated with our drink tonight. So no orange juice or orange squash tonight. I've gone for a bit of a more fruity feel. So we will get into the first video. It's 20 minutes gone already, and we haven't got into the first video yet. So this was requested by Vince over on Patreon. Thank you for that, Vince, and also for linking me to some of the pictures and letting me know when there's something new over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters page. So Vince always hosts the after party over there if you guys want to get involved yourselves. We will be jumping into this video. It is going to be the live version of Amelia, and it's when I record one and then record it again myself, but I explain it every time at the beginning of this video. So I'll see you guys after this. As always, I'll be in the live chat room while this is playing, and I'll see you guys after. Rock! Alright, Phil here, Wings of Pegasus, and I had a little bit of spare time, so I thought I'd whip down an acoustic version of a track called Amelia, which will be on the album once it comes out. Now I've decided to sit on the squeakiest chair ever. Hopefully that won't affect it too much. Now the idea that I've got in my head is to play along like a version now, and then play along to that version afterwards, and then hopefully sort of sync it up somehow. But it should work. In my head, I think it's going to be fine. So let's see. Imagine if I told you all the things that I never took the time to tell. Even if I told you, you wouldn't understand that you and I is lost forever. Under all this emptiness, each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you leave me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. They say that time is a healer. I don't believe what they say. I'm broken anyway. Ever since we parted, all this pain has started. It's never ending. Under all this emptiness, each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Don't tell me you love me when you're Cheers. And there we have it. That was my song called Amelia, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That is available from my album called Persistence, and that is available over at wingsofpegasus.com and also iTunes and Amazon, but it's better for me if you get it from my website because then I don't have to give away a percentage. So I hope you guys are having a great evening tonight in the live chat room, and we did have some action in the super chat window as well, but we're going to look towards the likes in the corner because we're up to 151. So that means that we need 99 more people and likes in order to hit the target for tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if we can spike the likes. And it's going to be the second plug of the mug for the live stream. So if you can hit that thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated. And also, we have all the merchandise underneath this video, or at least it should be. Somebody did mention in the comment section that the tray underneath the video wasn't visible anymore. I'm not sure if that is true with this live stream, so if you guys could let me know in the live chat room, that would be good if you can see the tray underneath this video, because if you can't, then maybe I'll have to reinstall it or do something, I don't know, change some settings to see if you guys can get the tray underneath this video. But the merchandise, the mug, the t-shirt, which I've actually got on, and the hoodie as well is in there. There is another t-shirt design that you can get your hands on, but that is all underneath the video, or at least it should be if you want to get your hands on one of those or everything. So we are going to jump into the picture that I mentioned. It was Susan and Dennis who had sent in the picture of the CD that was sent to them, so thank you guys for that. I just organised it while that video was playing, and hopefully this is going to work. Here we go, and there we have it. There is the CD signed by me with a message on it, and of course some dodgy writing because it's quite difficult to write on the CD and get the words to actually be visible and also readable, legible, whatever you want to call it. And you can see that I also write on the envelope in the background, and it's great that it did manage to get over to the USA. They all do eventually, but obviously with coronavirus it's taken a little bit longer for the CDs to get out there, but everything is still functioning. It might just take a little bit longer, but thank you for uploading that picture to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, and that was Susan and Dennis that did that. It's massively appreciated. Just while we are looking at some pictures, we did have another one, and this should be Jeannie with her CD, and thank you for uploading that, Jeannie, and that is Monday Fun Day signed CD today, and thank you for that. That is another signed CD, but we can't see my writing, which is probably a good thing for everybody involved, so thank you for that, Jeannie, and also thank you Susan and Dennis for uploading, and thank you everybody for uploading your pictures and t-shirts and mug shots to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group, because it does make it a little bit more interesting, I think, for you guys to be on screen as well as me, because it gets a bit boring looking at me all the time, I'm sure. But anyway, we are going to be jumping into the super chat window, and we have had a little bit of action in here, and this is sometimes the problem with my mouse on the screen, because I've got so much going on and it's dark on one side and then so much on this side, I sometimes lose where the cursor is. So sometimes I'm just not clicking on anything and just we are lost. But I think we're just about okay, because we had a donation from Ginger Duran, who has donated $5. So thank you for that. And the message is, I enthusiastically second the request for another Bee Gees analysis with a smiley face. Would truly appreciate it. Loved the other one, by the way. Stay safe. So thank you for that, and it will get a little double request notification on my list to make sure that I do get to another analysis video of the Bee Gees, but thank you for that. And Vince has donated $10 again. Thank you, Vince. The message is, and that was $10, the message is, Phil, passing along a question from Matrix X. what do you think about Brian May's guitar? To that question, I would add, what do you think about Brian's wiring and switching? So, with Brian May's guitar, as you probably all know, or you may not know, is the guitar that he made himself with his dad. And I think that his guitar and his guitar tone, because it's a custom guitar, it has its own sound, and it was wired very much with that in mind in order to have the pickups wired in sequence. And also a really cool function is the way that there's effectively an on-off switch for each of the pickups. So it means that Brian can choose exactly what combination he wants of pickups. And I know that a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about, but generally on a guitar you'll have 3, for example, single coil pickups. I'm probably losing everybody here, but having the ability to jump between different combinations of those is something that you don't get on every guitar, and that's what Brian had it in his guitar, just to make sure that he could get the exact sound that he wanted to. And also by having them wired in sequence, it means that he would effectively get 3 times the output from the guitar. So all of those are wired to then sound off together and pick up the sound from the strings. I don't want to get too complicated with it, but I think it gives him so many options from a tone perspective, and it's something that he uses so well. He just knows it inside out, as you would imagine, being a custom made guitar, and the fact that he made it himself from, I think, firewood or the wood from the fireplace, something like that. So a really interesting story behind the guitar in the first place, but also just having those options on the guitar is something that really does open it up for tone and also for getting more feedback. I think that was something that he had in mind watching Jeff Beck and seeing the way that he controlled feedback. That's something that Brian certainly wanted on his guitar. So yes, for me, it's just a standalone guitar. It's just one of a kind, and it really does have a unique tone to it, especially the way that Brian uses it, and he's constantly just tweaking the tone as he goes. But thank you so much, Vince, for that donation and the question, and also the question from Matrix X as well. And Lucy is in the house and has donated $49.99. Thank you so much for that, Lucy. The message is, for the Cross the Pond and Family Norway funds, Leanne Sherman brought up a great idea. Signed posters, please. Hello, fellow wingers and Phil. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sane. We'll get through this with some rock horns at heart and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. And looking at signed posters, I'm not sure how that's going to work, because I'd have to find a way of printing off posters which are going to be bigger than my printer, or get the posters sent to me and then for me to send out the posters. So yeah, I'll maybe see what I can do with that. I don't know whether there's a way that Teespring can organise signed posters, because it has to come to me first and then I have to send them out. I think the problem that I do have is that when I'm sending out CDs and things like that, that's what takes me probably the longest time, because I have to physically travel, obviously, to the post office and then queue up. And sometimes there's a long queue and it is a bit of a longer process to send things off. So I generally just try and do that once a week, just have a particular day where I know that I'm going to be traveling to the post office, and then I can get everything done. But it might be something that I have to look into, how to even send a poster, because I assume I'm going to have to send it in a rolled up thing to make sure that it doesn't get all squashed. But it can be something that I can look at in the future, and I'm always open to suggestions. So thank you for that, Lucy, and also thank you for that donation of $49.99. And Linda is in the house as well and has donated $2. Hello, Linda. Thank you for joining us. The message is, what guitars did you use to record Persistence? And this is pretty much all my Ibanez Geo. I'm trying to think if I used anything else for any rhythm work. There might have been a little bit of Fender Strat in there as well, just to get a slightly different tone and then add those tones together. But all in all, it was probably my Ibanez Geo that's on pretty much all of Persistence. So thank you for that, Linda. I did find that actually the clean guitar sounds are my Fender Strat, because I just got a better tone from the Strat, a little bit more body, a little bit more middle to it, rather than the Ibanez tended to have a little bit more of a top end sound. So even when I went to the middle pickup, for example, the Fender Strat just can't be beaten in that middle pickup position for my clean tones. So there is a little bit of a mix on both, but heavy guitars and overdrive, it was all Ibanez Geo. But thank you for that, Linda. And Subversively Surreal has donated $1.99 again. Thank you for that. The message is, love what you do, Phil, with a heart, or it might be some lips. I can't really see from this far away, but thank you for that. And Cheryl has donated $2. Thank you for that, Cheryl. The message is, let's spike the likes and plug the rug, with a laughing face. And yes, that was something that slipped out last time. I said rug instead of mug, so thank you for reminding me of that, Cheryl, and for the donation, and a great idea to spike the likes. Let's see if we can get a spike on 36 minutes past 12 here in the UK, and that's midnight, so we're now technically into Wednesday, but let's see if we can get a spike of the likes. We're at 184 at the moment, so maybe if we get a spike, we can get closer to 200, and we'll see if that counter goes up at all. It just went up by 1, so we'll see if anybody else can hit that thumbs up. It would be massively appreciated, but thank you for that. And also, I want to make sure I don't miss any, but Cheryl, thank you. Lisa has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, when you were at school, did you have any creative writing classes that helped you with writing lyrics? And no, I didn't. We didn't have any creative writing, anything like that. My music lessons were a bit rubbish as well, so I didn't really like music at school. So yeah, it was just something that I then found an interest in myself and just worked it out my own way. So unfortunately, no, I didn't have any creative writing classes, but it would have been nice. But thank you for that donation, Lisa. And Jen is in the house still and has donated again. So thank you for that, Jen. The message is, it's a $5 donation. The message is, because I was watching something else earlier, have you ever signed a body part? And not that I can remember. It's always either a CD, or maybe when I did my That's Metal video, some people wanted me to maybe sign their hand or something, but I can't remember. So that might be a lie, but if ever it happened, it probably would have happened then. So it was probably more the case that I just sign the CDs and maybe sign flyers and that kind of stuff. But no, I can't remember signing a body part. But I guess there's always a first time. Thank you for that, Jem. And there's another donation from Subversively Surreal, and that's $1.99. So thank you so much for that again. Orlando has donated $10. Thank you for that. And the message is, the band Liliac was on America's Got Talent. They were voted into the next round but pulled out. The show wanted them to consider covering songs by Justin Bieber. I thought I would share that. So thank you, Orlando. And this is the thing, unfortunately, about the talent shows, is that they do want you to do particular songs and they want you to act in a particular way. And certainly my experience with it, as you guys have probably seen on the show here that we have called The X Factor, they wanted me to do a Bon Jovi song and also come in on a motorbike and just ham up the whole glam side of, well, glam rock, but the whole 80s thing. Whereas I went on stage and did one of my own songs, which I own the rights to, which means that by doing that, I get a royalty from Simon Cowell every time that video is shown anywhere on any TV station or on the internet. So it's not something that they wanted me to do, but I did it and then it was too late. And because I made a bit of a spectacle of myself, it meant that they just put it on TV because it was good to watch and it was interesting and entertaining, but they had to then pay me in order to show it. So I always say, if you keep the rights to your own music, that is what you want to do going into the future, because then you'll never get done out of anything and people will have to pay you to feature your music, which is exactly the way that it should be. But thank you for that, Orlando. And it doesn't surprise me at all that they were asked to do some more mainstream stuff or less edgy stuff, and it was probably right that they did pull out, because they can then have their own career independently and not be one of those bands or artists that might win a competition and then they're seen as the winners of the competition, and then a couple of years later they fall by the wayside because there's been a couple more series of that show. But thank you, Orlando, for that. Kay has donated $5. Thank you for that, Kay. And the message is, if a student is technically proficient in playing the guitar but lacks passion in their playing, what do you do? And I think pretty much for me, the key is vibrato, because so many players never work on having their own vibrato, the way that they get the note to sing, because that's what you use to connect with people, and that's what a lot of singers use to connect with people. It's the emotion in their voice and their expression when they apply vibrato. And so many players, there are millions of players who focus on their technical proficiency of playing fast and playing a lot of notes, but then as soon as they hold one note, they then can't vibrato, or the vibrato they do is nasty and really unreliable, and the frequency isn't even, because they're spending so much time on something that potentially might not connect with a lot of people because it's too much information. It's like when you listen to somebody just singing one note and holding it and getting the emotion in that note. I'm sure everybody can think of a song where the crescendo of the song had a long held note by the vocalist, and it was a great vocalist who could vibrato and had control of it. That is what you generally get with a crescendo. You never get a crescendo that is a singer singing 4 or 5 notes a second and they go all over the place with a particular scale, because that isn't what we class as a crescendo, or at least it's not what we hear. Getting to the top of that mountain, you always pretty much hear a held note. I can't really hear of a final chorus, or I can't really think of something that I can hear in my head at the moment that was a great finish to a song that was lots and lots and lots of notes. So anyway, it's just tapping into the fact that if you want to connect more with your playing, you've got to focus on giving your guitar a voice, because anybody can play fast. It just takes patience and, well, rehearsing over and over and over, and rehearsing correctly, practicing correctly, setting it to a metronome. But everybody can play fast, but not everybody can play with emotion and feel, because so many people have focused on playing fast, they haven't practiced playing with emotion and feel, and they're both as difficult, if not more difficult, to play with feel than to play with speed. Because like I said, everyone can play with speed. If you play a scale that's 10 notes per second or 15 notes per second, each person that plays that is going to play it exactly the same way at exactly the same speed and probably sound exactly the same. Whereas if you get a player to play 1 or 2 notes per second, they will all sound different, because then that is their expression that you're hearing, not just a complicated run or a set of notes within a scale. But yeah, so if a student wants to get more expression in their playing, I'd focus them on vibrato first and get them to slow down. Just concentrate on a couple of notes a second, or even 1 note a second, and see if you can get that note to connect, but more importantly to sing, because if a note can sing, then it's got a chance of connecting. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Kay, and a long answer to that one. Apologies. But Orlando has donated $2 and says, spike the likes, thumbs up. So where are we? 204 likes. Thank you for that, Orlando. We need, or we're looking for 46 in order to get to the target for tonight. We'll see if we can make it. It's already 1:45 in the morning. I don't know where this time goes. We haven't even got to the second video in the live stream, but I'm going to increase the speed of my talking to get through these super chat donations. Thank you guys so much for your support in the super chat window, but also in the live chat room as well. We've had another donation from Deborah, who has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, I'm willing to sacrifice a body part for Phil to autograph. So thank you for that, Deborah. The first body part sacrifice for Wings of Pegasus is from Deborah, so thank you for the donation as well. And Laura has donated $10. The message is, great live stream tonight, thanks so much. And no problem, Laura. Hopefully Fingers crossed it's all going to plan so far. I can't think of too many mistakes, but it is still young, even though it's 1:45. So we're going to have to really start to accelerate with everything that we're doing here. And it looks like we've still got the likes on screen. Last time that disappeared, but I've moved it to a different screen. We seem to be okay. Let's crack on. So Debbie has donated $4.99 as well. Thank you for that, Debbie. The message is, what original song did you sing on that Crazy X Factor show? So the original song was That's Metal, because that was the craziest song that I've got on my album, and it's just a bit of a random song. Also, it was one that I could just run into the crowd, and it wasn't really one of those songs that has an emotional point to it, or at least it's not something that I want to connect on a deep level emotionally with an audience. So it's more of just get your guitars out, have some air guitar, have a bit of fun, run around the whole stage and the room, because that was at Wembley Arena, so there was lots of space for me to run around. And the great thing about that performance is that I had earplugs in, and I don't think anybody knows this, but I had earplugs, so I couldn't hear anything that was going on. So vocal-wise, I really wasn't bothered about the performance, because I was just there to run around, make a bit of a spectacle of myself, just to prove a point that it's not really about the talent or the music on those shows. It's more about a spectacle, and if you can do that, then you'll get featured, and other more talented people won't get featured because they're not as entertaining, or they don't make a spectacle of themselves. So it's just a point that I was looking to prove on that show, which I think I did. But thank you for that, Debbie, and it was That's Metal to My Ears, to give it the full title. And Leanne is in the house and has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, do you have any tats? Also, thanks for everything you do. I am in awe of the way you stay connected to your fans with a heart. So thank you for that, Leanne. And I don't have any tattoos. It's not something that I've got into yet in my life. And I think that if I did have one, it would have to be something that was really, really important or meaningful. At the moment, everything that I go through in my life, I've got stored in my head, so I don't need any reminders of things. But I'm sure that maybe in the future it could happen. I'm not against tattoos, and if you choose to have tattoos that mean something that, you know, means something to you personally on a deep level, then that's absolutely fine. And some tattoos do look really cool, so it might be the fact that I get one in the future, but I don't know. I think I just have to have something that would mean a lot, and at the moment I haven't yet had that experience, or something that I want to ink on my body to have it there for the whole time, because if I made a mistake with it, then it would be a mistake for life. But you've really got to be sure about getting a tattoo if you are going to get one, and I'm not sure what I would have or the reason for getting one yet. But thank you, Leanne, for that donation and the message and the question. And Doug has donated $2. Thank you for that, Doug. The message is, any stories about James Bowen, Street Cat Bob? So thank you for that, Doug. And I don't have any stories, unfortunately, so it's just a blank canvas. But if anybody else has got any stories, if Doug has got any stories, then maybe those can appear in the live chat room. But I just have a blank on that, Doug, so apologies for that. And Orlando has donated $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, happy birthday, Yngwie Malmsteen. He turns 57 today, as per Paul, with some rock horns. So thank you for that message, and happy birthday as well. Not that he watches this channel, but thank you for the heads up, Orlando, and thank you for all the rock horns as well. We are going to be jumping into, we've got to get through these videos. This is going to be my cover of the ZZ Top Classic, Gimme All Your Lovin', and I think this was requested over on Patreon by somebody, I'm not sure who, the name has gone out of my head, but let me quickly jump over to see if I can find who requested this, and I'm gonna have to scroll up, so thank you guys for this. It was Orlando, so we can tie it in with that donation. So thank you, Orlando, for the donation, and here is your request for the cover, and I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, I'll be in the live chat room, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! Hello, Phil here. Thank you so much for watching my cover of ZZ Top's classic, Gimme All Your Lovin'. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The names that you can see going up the screen here are the names of my patrons who I'd like to say a massive thank you to for their support and for making videos like this possible in the first place, and also making my analysis videos possible as well. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and if I don't see you at the next analysis video, I'll see you guys at the next cover video. Rock! And there we have it. That was my cover, of course, of Gimme All Your Lovin'. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And we did have a little bit of action in the super chat window, so we're going to get that up on screen. And it was a donation from Paul, who has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And Emmy Sunshine Soon, thanks for what you do. And the sunshine did move into the word soon there, but Emmy Sunshine Soon, thanks for what you do. So yes, Emmy Sunshine is on my list. And the thing is, I know that I've said in live streams before that I will be getting there soon. I think I've underestimated the length of the list and the requests on the list. And I know that I do get emails from people saying, I requested this video 2 months ago and you still haven't got to it. But I get a lot of requests, and it's not just in the YouTube comment section, but I get a lot of emails that are separate to YouTube altogether, and those come through, and I'm still making a note of all of those requests. And I'm pretty much just taking the requests through the emails and the YouTube comment section. The YouTube comment section is the first place that I go for the requests, and as I do say in all of the videos, you know, put your suggestions or requests in the comment section below, and that's where I go to those. When I'm going into the emails, it takes me a few days to get through all of them, so if you want to get your suggestion immediately on the list, which means that at least it'll be 3 days earlier than it would be if you emailed, then yes, that's probably the way to do it, just on YouTube. But yeah, I get a lot of requests, so I know that she is on the list, and I will get there at some point, definitely, and hopefully it is going to be soon. I'll do my best to try and get to Emmy as soon as possible. But thank you, Paul, for that donation. And Gina has donated $9.99. Thank you for that. The message is, it brings me joy to watch you play guitar. So thank you for that, Gina, and I'm glad that it brings you joy. It's much appreciated that you watch the live stream, watch the videos as well, watch the cover videos, the analysis videos, and I guess for everybody in the live chat room, thank you guys so much for watching the videos, joining me on these live streams and hitting that thumbs up. And let's have a plug of the mug. Again, this is the third one for tonight, so if you want to get your hands on your own mug, then you can do. It'll be in the tray underneath this video. Hopefully the tray's there with the merchandise stuff in it. And if you spike the likes, we are now at just past 5 to 1 in the morning here. We're at 226 likes, so we are looking for 24 more people to hit that thumbs up. Maybe they will join in with the live chat room before we finish. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, then you can do. It would be massively appreciated. We're trying to get to 250. We got to 230 and some on the last live stream, so it looks like we're almost about to hit 227. I think it went down one, then went up one, so somebody's done the double click, but we're now back up to 228, so thank you for that, and 229. So we're almost at Saturday's target already, and just 21 more to go. So we will get into the next video because we have a couple more to go, but just before we do, let me jump into the super chat window again, because we have had another donation from Linda, and it's for $5. Thank you for that, Linda. The message is, have you ever recorded the melodic content of an original song but then either couldn't come up with or had difficulty coming up with the lyrics? And I think at some point there's going to be a song that just flows and it's fine lyrically and everything just fits, but then sometimes there are songs that take ages to write the lyrical content to. And I'm trying to think of one that probably took quite a while was Percy Johnson, because I knew that I was trying to tell a story through it and I wanted the words to be phrased a particular way, and that just took a bit of a longer time. Paris Nord was one of those songs that just didn't take very long at all from a melodic perspective, but also from a lyrical perspective. It just tended to flow, and some songs are like that. So I've never had to totally just forget a song because I can't come up with any words. I always find some words eventually, but sometimes it does take a long time. But thank you for that, Linda. And Teresa has donated $10. Thank you for that. And the message is the guy jumping up and down saying #1 fan. So thank you for that, Teresa. And Vince has donated $10 again. And the message is Laurie's birthday was yesterday. So thank you for that. And I think Vince maybe missed it earlier, but I did give Laurie a shout out at the beginning of the live stream. But let's have another one. Happy birthday, Laurie. Birthday or birthday? I'm not sure what birthday. That was from a different place in England. I just, for some reason, had that accent coming out, but you're just going to have to deal with that, I'm afraid. Happy birthday to Laurie. Thank you, Vince, again for mentioning it. But everybody say hello and happy birthday to Laurie in the live chat room, because it was yesterday, technically now 2 days ago here in the UK, because I'm already into Wednesday. But thank you for that. Orlando has donated $5, and the message is thank you for honoring my request. Much appreciated. Fitness question: do you take any nutrition supplements to help with your workouts? And there's some fitness pictures after that, but thank you, Orlando. So the only supplement that I take is unflavored protein, which isn't very exciting. And actually, no, what I do before I go to bed, I don't want to get too technical with this, but when you work out and you have to have protein, especially if you're trying to build muscle and you're doing probably between kind of 5 and 10 reps, then if you're doing sets of 5 to 10 reps, then you're going to be building muscle, and that's then getting to failure, for example, after 5 reps or after 10 reps. And it's down to you and your body, what your body responds to the best. A lot of people do work out hitting 10 reps, but my body responds best to 5 to 7 reps, and I put on a lot, noticeably more muscle mass in that 7 and 5 rep window than I ever have doing 10 reps. And I did an experiment of doing 4 or 5 weeks at 10 reps, and I got nowhere near the extra mass that I get from 5 to 7 reps. And it's all down to your body and what you respond to. And I found out that doing that once a week for each muscle group was the quickest way for me to put on muscle mass, lean muscle mass. And that's just how it works for my body. So I am lucky in that way that I don't have to work out for very long. I can just do 2 sets per body part a week, so it might only take me 4 or 5 minutes to do chest or biceps or tricep, and that is it. Triceps, not just one tricep, but that'll be it for the week, and then I just do it the next week. Obviously I'm having protein, so it means that I'm having at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body mass. That's what I work it out to, and I find that that works well for me. But anyway, so just to answer that question and go into a little bit more detail on the supplement, I have the protein, because having, like, for example, 150 grams of protein every day is a lot. So in my natural diet, I might get to maybe 70 or 80, and then the extra 60 I'll make up with 3 shakes of 20 grams. But the protein that I have is unflavored, but then I do buy some flavored protein of like banana or strawberry and just have like maybe a quarter of a scoop, so that it's not totally unflavored. I have 2 shakes of unflavored, and then before I go to bed, I have a little bit of strawberry with the unflavored just because it's nicer. And also at night, you want to have it with milk, because if you have it with milk, and I have it with soy milk because cow's milk doesn't agree with me, this is going to turn into some kind of lecture on fitness and protein intake. But if you are working out before you go to bed, you want to have protein with milk because it releases slowly while you sleep. So if you have it with water, it gets released quickly. So after your workouts, you want to have protein with water because it goes straight to the muscle. That only takes like half an hour. And if you take protein with milk, it then gets an elongated supply to your muscles. So it means that for about 4 hours, you can get protein going to the muscle and it won't degenerate or eat itself or do anything. It's not going to eat itself, but you're going to get all of the benefit from having protein from milk before you go to bed. So that is my advice, and that's kind of what I do. But thank you so much for that, and hopefully you guys can get something out of it and maybe become more efficient with your protein. Maybe you might be having protein with water before you go to bed, and then you don't get the gains as quickly because you're not getting that slow release of protein, which is what you want while you're sleeping. But anyway, thank you, Orlando, for that. Al Beach has donated $4.99, and the message is, please tell us about your left hand fingernail regimen. So I don't really do anything. I do keep them neat. I don't know if you can see. I guess you can see from that distance that they're not long. I don't keep my left fingernails long because obviously it's going to interfere with the fretboard. The only thing that some people do grow out their nails on the right hand to play fingerstyle. I don't do that because I do a lot of tapping, a lot of hybrid picking as well. So it means that I need to be able to tap onto the fretboard with the fleshy part of my finger, because sometimes I'm doing hammer-ons and pull-offs with the second finger and the third finger on my right hand. So if I did have long nails, then the tapping would get compromised, but I can still play fingerstyle with the right hand and just use the fleshy part of my fingers. Obviously, it's not going to be as aggressive a sound if I had finger picks on or grew out my nails, but I can still play fingerstyle that way. On the left hand, I just tend to keep my nails as short as possible to make sure that I get a nice clean sound with my fretting positions. But anyway, thank you for that, Al. Angela has donated $5. Thank you again for that, Angela. And the message is, please don't forget the weight by playing for change. So thank you for that, Angela, and thank you for the request as well. And Ray is in the house and has donated $100. Thank you so much for that, Ray. The message is, take care. I wish you well. I know I sound like a broken record, but I continue to learn a lot from you. Any quick tip for learning to strum upwards on a guitar? Your hand and arm do not seem to change position at all. How do you do that? And the quickest tip that I can give you is a slight rotation in your wrist as you come up, because as you go down, the pick is going to be either facing directly towards the strings or slightly tilted down, so that it means that if my hand is the strings, I've actually got a pick here. If my hand is the strings, and I'll hold them like this, if you're watching a strum down, you can have the pick like that, but if it's just horizontal like this, as you can see, it's going between my fingers, which means that it's going to get stuck between the strings and you're going to have a nightmare. Whereas if you tilt your pick ever so slightly, it can now brush over the strings, and at no point is it going through my fingers. Now, as you come up, if I'm coming up at the same angle, I'm getting stuck in each finger, which my fingers, by the way, are the strings, or at least that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. So as we go down, if you then tilt slightly as you come up, you get a sound on the microphone from hitting it, but also you get a smoother action of being able to go across these strings. And of course, if you can go across your fingers with no problems, then you're going to be able to go across strings with no problems as well. So it is that ever so slight rotation in the wrist. When you get good at it, you're not going to notice it, but that strumming action is a rotation in the wrist, and by that rotation, it means that when you do an upstroke, your pick is not horizontal to the strings where it's going to get stuck. It's ever so slightly angled downwards to the floor, so that when you're coming up, you can just strike and just brush along those strings. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense and that helps you, Ray, with that technique. It's not a real exaggerated movement, it's a really subtle movement, and you'll find the sweet spot of just how much you need to tilt it in order to get a good downstroke, and then tilt it a little bit the other way to get a good upstroke. But anyway, thank you for that, Ray. And King Nero has donated $5. Thank you for that again. The message is, I just wanted to personally thank you for analysing Bobby. Yes, of course, and no problem as well. And Bobby Darren Phil, I'll keep on with the message, he was one of the coolest ever and died too young. And this is the thing about Bobby, that he had so many problems with his health throughout his whole life. And I mentioned in the video about him having oxygen at a lot of his performances, especially in his 30s and towards the end of his life. Unfortunately, he just kept on entertaining and putting on those shows. And he died at the age of 37, which is the same age as me. So he definitely did die too young. And yeah, he just lived his life as well as he could and did as much as he could in that lifetime that he was given. And fortunately, we do have the videos that we can look back at. Such a multi-talented guy with acting as well, which was his main passion, but then what a great voice. But thank you for that donation again, King Nero. And Deborah has donated $10. Thank you for that, Deborah. The message is, thank you for your Muse analysis, and that's no problem. Interestingly, last night I did the video and it all seemed fine. I got the usual message of it being ineligible for monetization, which means that there's usually adverts on my videos, but I don't get the money from that because they're all copyright. Whenever I'm featuring somebody else's song, that gets copyright claimed and it's ineligible. I can't get that out in one, but ineligible for monetization. So that's all fine because that happens to every one of my videos, but it didn't say that it was blocked, and I only found that out at about 3:30 in the morning. It was actually when I was going to bed, because I thought, yeah, I've finished and I can actually go to bed an hour or more earlier. But sure enough, that happened. So then I was back out back out here editing at 4, and then 4:30 in the morning I was uploading again. But we did get there in the end. So no problem, Deborah, and thank you for that donation. Italian Carrot Red has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, dear, beautiful, handsome Phil, my cousin changes the lyrics of every song when she sings and they always rhyme. I find that so funny. So thank you for that donation. And it is a good tool to have in your arsenal if you can change lyrics, or if you forget lyrics, then make up ones that rhyme, because you might get away with it if people don't know the song. But thank you for that. And Deborah has donated $3.99. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, do you need me to spot you during your workout? Thank you for that, Deborah. And at the moment, I'm not doing super heavy weights, so it's not something that I require, but maybe in 4 or 5 weeks when I get back to my peak level of strength, then maybe, but it'll probably be a very long journey for you, especially considering that each workout is probably only about half an hour in length. So I just do that a couple of times or 3 times a week. And like I said, I am a bit lucky with that. I can just do a minimal amount. And I think it is more just about working out your body and working out what works best for your body. Because I've said so many times before that guys go to the gym and they beast it every single day and they do as much as they can. Obviously, some guys are taking enhancements and enhancing drugs and steroids and growth hormone, testosterone, that kind of thing, which means that they can go to the gym every day and they don't get fatigued. Whereas if you don't take any enhancements drug-wise, going to the gym every day and beasting it, you can't do that to a normal body because testosterone can only do too much. And if you're genetically gifted with a lot of testosterone, then you can maybe do a little bit more, but certainly not beasting the same muscle group every day. It just doesn't work that way for a natural human body. So like I said, I just do a couple of sets every week, just once a week, and that is enough for my body. And that's as much as my body can take, because I don't use anything to try and enhance my body and get an advantage chemically. It's just all what I've got. So anyway, thank you for that donation, Deborah. And Deborah has donated as well. Again, we've got now the double Deborah, and this is another donation of $3.99. So thank you again, Deborah, for the double donation. And the message is, I'll be there with shower gel. So thank you for that. I have got my own shower gel, but I suppose it's always great to have a spare just in case I do run out. But thank you for that. And let's move on swiftly to my live performance of We Can Fall Down. And this was requested over on Patreon by Deborah. So thank you for that. We are going to be jumping into it. It's just a Deborah fest at the moment. And I'm going to try and find my pointer because I don't know where it's gone. Found it. So we'll get into this. I'll see you guys after. It looks like we are at 246 likes. So let's see if we can find 4 people to hit that thumbs up while this video is going, and we'll try and get to our target of 250. It would be massively appreciated. I'll see you guys after this. Rock. And there we have it. That was my song called We Can Fall Down, and that was the live version of it from the live stream gig that I did. So we have had some more action in the super chat window. Thank you guys for all of your support on this live stream, and looking at the screen as well, we have currently 255 likes. So we have reached our target of 250. So thank you guys. It's just gone up to 256. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up and just helping this channel to grow, and also helping these live streams to get out there a bit more as well. So getting into the super chat window, we do have another donation from Deborah, who donated after Orlando. I want to make sure that I get everyone here, but Deborah, who just requested that video, and Deborah Verdon, by the way. As I said, we have a lot of Deborahs going on at the moment with the live chat room, the super chat as well. So we had the donation from Deborah and then Orlando, and Orlando donated $5. The message is: Warden Robert Casotto, also known as Bobby Darin, was born in East Spanish Harlem, New York. He lived a very tragic life. May he rest in peace with a heart. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I'm sure everybody in the live chat room echoes those sentiments. And Deborah has donated $2 as well. And thank you, Deborah, for the donation and for requesting that song over on Patreon. And this is the guy turning around saying, "Hey you, it looks like he's doing something. He might be putting on glasses or something, or some aviators, but it's a little bit too small for me to see that clearly." But thank you, Deborah, for that donation. And Linda has donated $5. And the message is: my favorite live streams are those where you provide lots of tips and information. This is definitely one of those times, and we're past 250 likes. So thank you for that, Linda. And I took a drink of some of my summer fruits squash, and I just did a hiccup, but I think I have recovered, because hiccups are one of those things that they can just keep on coming back. So I'm going to hope that it doesn't come back. That is the worst thing, by the way, when you're doing vocal practice and you get the hiccups. That is pretty much it. You just have to wait until your diaphragm and your breathing realign, because I think that's what it is, when your diaphragm goes out of sync with your breathing, and by hiccuping and taking in a quick piece of air, it means that your diaphragm is now in sequence with your breathing, and that's what your body's trying to do. At least that's what I think it is, and I think I read that ages ago. Again, a little bit of information in my head that might be wrong, but anyway, I think fortunately that hiccup did it, and we're back in sync, so it's all good. And that would make sense, because when you swallow, like I did then, and then I had to hiccup, by swallowing, you can't breathe when you're swallowing, so that might have put out the breathing with the diaphragm. Anyway, I might just be making this up. But anyway, thank you so much, Linda, for that donation. And we are going to be calling this live stream to a halt, because it is 1:20 here in the morning, so I'm not going to be able to get to the last video. It was going to be Unwanted Stranger again. I did play that in the last live stream, but it was requested multiple times, and Lisa and Mary also requested this. But we'll maybe play it in the next live stream on Saturday night, because things have really rolled on. I think it's probably talking about the fitness side of things and the protein, and having protein with water and with milk, and what you should do, and the amount of reps per set. All that kind of stuff did drag on a little bit. So apologies for that, but thank you, Orlando, for those questions regarding fitness, because that is something that I know a little bit about as well. So if I can help you guys out with anything that you want to know fitness wise, then you can just ask me on the live streams, and why not. But let's get into the final part of this live stream. We are going to be wrapping it up. Like I said, we have 261 likes now, so thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. And I'm hoping that we can also end this live stream without having any gremlins, because I don't think we've had any so far. And I know that maybe extending the live streams is something that I'll have to look into in the future. The only problem with that is that once I finish my live stream, I then head over to Patreon and answer all of the messages over there, and then I still answer the messages and comments on YouTube, and I try to still get into the emails as well. So I still have a lot of things that I have to get through before going to bed, and it just so happens that if I end at about 1:10 or 1:20 maximum, I know that we've just gone past that, but it leaves me enough time to then address all the things that I do before I then go to bed, and I can finish everything and then start up the next day anew and just answer the obviously emails and comments that I get while I'm asleep, and then get back into it that way. Whereas if I don't answer everything and get it up to date, then it means that when I get up, not only have I got the messages when I'm sleeping, but I've got the previous night's messages as well. So it is a bit of a balancing act at the moment, but hopefully in the future, maybe at some point, if I can organize my time or maybe get a little bit of help to give somebody else things to do that leaves me more time, then we can extend the live streams a little bit. But I want to say a massive thank you to you guys for joining me on these live streams. It's great to interact with you guys on a Tuesday and a Saturday. Also, just let's have a look into the live chat room and see who's in there, because we have Lisa in there and NeuroMD. So thank you for that. I think NeuroMD is a new username that I have mentioned, well, haven't mentioned before, but I have just mentioned. So thank you for that. Italian Carrot, it's going too quickly, but Italian Carrot Red was there. Michael, Scott, Barbara, Leanne, Kevin, Orlando, and Italian Carrot Red again. Barbara, Susan and Dennis still in the house, and DN2 Gig, and Paul G, and Lynn, Patrick, and Giuseppe, and Ray still in the house as well, and Lisa and Carl and Pamela. Hello guys, thank you so much for joining me for tonight's live stream. And if you're around again, I'm going to be around again on Saturday night, where we'll maybe aim for 250 likes again, or maybe we could up it a little bit. I don't know, but we will see. But thank you, Carla, for even suggesting the outrageous target of 230 on that last live stream and building up to it, and we've hit the target again. So thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up. If you do want to hit that thumbs up, you can still do it now. You can still do it when you're watching this on catch up. So it all counts, it all helps the channel to grow and for the videos to get out there, the analysis videos and all the other videos. So I'm going to be calling this to a close now. So thank you guys so much for joining me and all of your support in the super chat, because it really does make a difference to support the channel and help me to be able to do this every single night. And just a massive shout out as well to the people at the bottom of the screen, my patrons, who also do pop up in the super chat window. But these guys keep everything going on the channel. They are the foundation of everything I do and allow me to do everything I do and spend the amount of time that I do on the videos now. And it is something that some people have said about the very early videos that I did about 2 years ago. They can see the difference in the support that I've received, but also the difference in the videos, because with your support, it means that I've been able to spend more time on the videos. And especially when I first started out, I only had maybe 10 or 20 minutes that I could spend on a video, whereas now I can do a little bit more, get into chord progressions, get the guitar out and go into vocal techniques and also the background of the artist and a bit of the history. So there is a lot more that I can do now. So thank you guys so much for your support and improving the channel as a whole. But I am going to be leaving you guys now. Thank you to the moderators as well in the live chat room for doing such an excellent job and keeping it such a nice place to be. And hopefully I'll be able to see you guys again on Saturday. If you're there, I'm going to be there, and I will always let you know if I'm not going to be doing a live stream, but it's going to be Saturdays and Tuesdays for the foreseeable future, for the rest of this year and maybe next year and the year after, unless you hear from me. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'll see you in the comment section of the next analysis video tomorrow night. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you in the next night's analysis video all the way up to Saturday. And then I'll see you in the live stream on Saturday night. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And I'll catch up with you guys again soon. See you later. Rock.